What's poppin', y'all? Today, I want to show off a piece of equipment that I consider my most impulsive buy. We all got those. What is it called? The circuit tracks. Now this is a compact little groove box that really shines in its simplicity. The first thing that you might notice is that there is no digital screen of any kind. What this really wants you to do is it wants you to break away from your traditional type of DAW setup or any other type of screen operated music device. And it wants you to dive into just clicking buttons. And there's a lot of buttons to click with a lot of submenus and a lot of things that just show up visually. And honestly, it's super nice. There's so many little things to it that really just adds to the sophistication. I don't want this to be a tutorial video. There's plenty of those out there that'll show you every little detail of what this thing is capable of. Instead, I'd like to share with you a few thoughts on my uses for it. Since I've had it for about 3 years, I've used it in just about any way you could think of. And I would also like to share whether or not I would consider it a buy today. With all of the amazing things out there, is this groove box something that could stand up there? Now, I don't have a lot of groove boxes, but is this groove box something that can stand up there as a worthy purchase? Because $350 it's not cheap. I'm going to start off by saying I didn't use this thing as intended. I know that, at least I think that they wanted this to be kind of the brains of your operation, right? It has 2 synths, 2 midis, and 4 drum tracks, right? FXNs, in-house FX like phaser and chorus that you can actually put directly into the patch. The fact that they separated the FX of the delay and reverb and the phaser to where you can't really do much with delay and phase or reverb, which is what I think most people do more with conceptually in sound design than phaser and chorus. I just want to elaborate on that a tiny bit. As you can see, if we go over to the effects, we only have chorus and phaser, distortion, and an equalizer. And honestly, you can't put any of these on the equalizer, which breaks my heart. So you kind of have a limited range of what you could actually do with your effects and your modulation. Of course, you have a whole bunch of sources that you can kind of like key things together to affect different things. But even then, you do not have nearly enough options for like really cool and creative synthesis. As you can see, delay and reverb aren't even here. I would have really liked to see all of the effects able to be put into all of the different parameters. But what I did end up using this as, is a giant 56 knob control center for my live shows. And I think it's really good for that. There's a lot of things that you can get for cheaper, like let's say the MIDI twister that has, 16 knobs and, there's two phases of it. I think that's pretty good. I really wanted to use it to control so many different things, but I found it lacking. I found it lacking in almost every department. And this is not to say that this isn't something that might not just be my use case, but the circuit tracks could have been an incredible device. I think if Novation decided that they wanted to continue updating the synth engines and giving us more control over the parameters, I feel like this could have easily been my go-to device no matter what I was doing. But after about a year of playing with the synthesizers, after creating a bunch of different patches, I have a ton. I have a ton of different sounds. After creating all of these different sounds and after feeling completely bottlenecked, I ended up just putting it on a shelf for a really long time, and I didn't want to do that. With all that said, I'd like to go in and kind of make a beat, show you its workflow, and show you kind of the uses that I use it for, and just see if it's for you. And there you have it. The Circuit Tracks is certainly worthy of messing around with, jamming, and you can create some pretty cool stuff in there. But you only have 2 oscillators. So bringing it anywhere and actually getting something competent out of it, I think, is out of the question. Now, can you sketch an idea? Sure. That's cool. I crave more. So personally, I think I'd end up getting something like the Poly N Play Plus if I ever managed to get my hands on it and really figure out what something that has a lot more functionality. And like, I already know that I like groove boxes. I want a groove box. I want to be able to take it places and show people and just have fun with people. But I can't imagine buying this right now knowing what I know, knowing its use case and knowing all the limits and unfortunately the functionality that just isn't there. I mean, we could have done so much with 8 knobs, all being able to control different parameters within your synth. It could have been so freaking cool, but it just fell flat for me. I use it as a 56 knob MIDI controller, and I'm not sad about that, but there's a lot of better things you can get that would do just that. I appreciate everyone checking this out. This was just more of a story time. In the future, I do want to go more in depth, and I want to do product and gear reviews. And I would say that if I had to give this a rating, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. I'd give it a 6 out of 10 because it's very usable. The 6 comes from all the different use cases that does exist within it. But I think I'm missing the 4 just for the sheer functionality of the synthesizers. As a sound design guy, I'm missing more effects within the creation of the synthesis, not just as reverb and delay sends. That's good and all, but not being able to mess with my reverb in-house in my synthesis or my delay. I mean, that's such a big part of my sound design process. You can get such creative sounds with that. Like, I felt like my sounds were incredibly lacking. I kept coming up with the same sounds over and over again because I just didn't have all of the effects that I wanted to send on it. Now, of course, that's just me. That's just my limited brain power. Let's be real. Would I say yes to buy this? Absolutely. But I would get it on a sale. I would find it refurbished. There's a lot of people that want to pay like about $250 for it. You could probably find it for anywhere from $250 to $300. And that's about $100 to $50 off of its initial price. That's a really decent deal. It really is. You can have a lot of fun with this, but I just feel like after a little bit, you're going to be like me and you're going to put it down and you're not going to take it anywhere because let's be real. Unless you're traveling, the battery life is great. Unless you're traveling by yourself, chances are you're not going to be on a device that has you solely focused on itself. That's cool. But yeah, peace out. Thanks for checking me out. Much love. More gear and review in the future. I just got to be able to afford it.